Hello, you just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. We're currently tying up phone lines and burning through cell minutes to get you closer to the guys on top of the boxes and over the wall down on pit road. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Sammi Joe Francis and Rocko Williams.
Welcome to another edition of MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. We have another special guest in studio, and you're here for the whole show, so I'm pretty excited about that. Trent Cherry.
Special is an understatement.
All right, well, let's hold on
He's
on
sweet.
The sucking up for now. He's the pit crew coach.
When you think of cherries, what do you think? Sweetness.
I think of Shirley Temples.
These are all great examples.
Great examples, yes.
Mariachinis, cherries.
Or maraschino.
Maraschino.
I digress.
What
so
you said.
He's with Penske Racing. We are very happy to have you here in studio. Is this Rocco's doing? Did he bribe you to get here?
He reached out, and I thought he had the wrong number at first. You know, I've been talking to Rocco for a long time for different reasons. You know, recruiting on.
Oh, we're going to get into all of those.
No, he
reasons.
texted me the other day and said he'd like to have me come by. And I said absolutely. So glad to be here.
Great. Well, I have not done any research on you, so just so you know,
there's not a lot out there.
I want all the dirt.
Last time I pitted, the internet wasn't around, so it's been a while, you know.
Well, lucky for you, Rocco is very well versed on the internet, and he has put plenty of things out there about you.
Perfect.
Yes, I did.
Perfect.
Yes, I did.
And we do have this lovely little book here.
Tell me about that book. What is that book?
What is
I
this?
brought this by to give you. It's something there's probably a lot of grammatical errors in that thing, but I wrote it a couple years ago about pit crews and pit stops, and really there's nothing out there about it, so it's kind of a history about.
Sign this right now.
No, look, give me this thing.
There you go.
I need it
I'm
signed.
gonna sign it to you. But I did it a couple years ago. Had a bunch of guys help write stories about it. It's kind of a history of what it was, and a lot of guys enjoy reading it. It's just, you know how it is about stories of pit road that a lot of people don't get unless they're on it. So I brought you one as a gift.
Appreciate
and
it.
Figure you could keep it here.
And now you can get yours. Where can you buy these things?
I think they're on Amazon.
Okay.
And they're
It's
in the
called
basement
Money
of my
Stop.
house. So, you know,
Okay.
Called
just
the
find
Money
me and-
Stop.
So stop by his house, or all right. But we are talking about Dover. Rocco, you were there.
Yes, I was.
Trent, you were there.
I was.
We've got some behind-the-scenes footage of the
Very
truck.
exciting race in the truck race. Yes.
Yeah, and an exciting and sloppy race
Yeah, as well.
in the NASCAR series as well, which I was going to bring marbles, but we'll get into that in a little bit. We have videos coming up. We've got Trent with us the whole show, so stay tuned. And can you do me a favor, Trent?
What's that?
Can you read those titles up there on that?
Yeah, so we got Red Solo Cup.
Do you use those ever?
We do. We
Do you know?
Yep, we do.
For post-race celebrations, of course.
You know, they're multi-use.
Right.
And then I'm guessing this one, As Good As I Once Was.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the title song. And then there's an arrow going right down to my
Where's
name.
that arrow going to?
Yeah, it's going to Coach Cherry.
Shots fired, y'all. Shots fired.
It's happened. I'm sure all the guys at the shop would get a chuckle out of that because that's probably the truth.
All right, well.
You're as good as you feel.
That's right.
Both of those songs are by Toby Keith. And, of course, he's just one of the many artists that is going to be at the Country 500. You can get your tickets now for the Country 500. It is Memorial Day weekend if you're not going to be in Charlotte with us. May 25th through the 27th, featuring, like I said, Toby Keith, Chris Stapleton, Dirks Bentley, many more. Get your tickets at country500.com down in Daytona for Memorial Day weekend. We'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Race fans, you may not wear a fire suit when you get behind the wheel of your car, but getting back on the road fast is still important. That's why there's AAA, the nation's leading roadside assistance provider. With more than 50,000 service vehicles nationwide, it's no wonder they get to you 15 minutes faster than other roadside service providers. Think of them as the pit crew that goes everywhere with you, 24/7, 365. Keep you and your car on track with AAA. Visit AAA.com/racefan.
15-minute faster arrival time is an average based on 2013 to 2016 AAA U.S. market track national surveys. Kyle Petty here. My friends at Click & Close, the official mortgage provider of NASCAR, have stepped up this year to support Victory Junction through the fastest lap of the race program on NASCAR radio. So join our team. Go to clickandclose.com/NASCAR today to donate $43 or more and help us give the gift of camp to children with serious medical conditions. That's clickandclose.com/NASCAR and just look for the Victory Junction logo. Thanks to Click & Close and NASCAR Radio for their support this season.
Thank you for listening to our program. If you like what you hear, tell your friends. If you don't, tell them we're NASCAR Live. You're being transferred back to Sammy Joe and Rocko.
Your boy Rocko's right here, and it's a hot Friday. We're waiting to get our pit boxes set up. We can't set our pit boxes up right now. I'm pitting for the 51 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and qualifying is going on or is about to start for Cup cars. So in the meantime, we got to sit here and hang out. As you can see, we laid out all of our tires. We're getting those glued up. And then we have our box right here as well. And we're just waiting for Cup qualifying to be over. And as soon as Cup qualifying is over, we'll get this bad boy into place. We'll get it set up. As you can see, on the pit box, we have everything that we need to facilitate the rebuilding of a new car. We have TVs located right here. We have our generators. Everything that's in this box right now, when qualifying is over, we're going to set up, we're going to dump it out. This box is going to look completely different by the time the race starts. So hopefully you'll be able to see how it looks. We're feeling really confident about our truck today, and I really feel good that Harrison Burton is going to get us a good finish.
Well.
Yes, that was my day in Dover, and he did give us a good finish. Harrison Burton finished 5th.
I mean, you spoke it into the universe, so it's kind of.
And not only did he finish 5th, he overcame a pit road penalty.
But not from you.
Well, from our team, not me.
Was it your fault?
One team, one dream, Sammy. We all go down as a team.
I need to know.
We had a tire. It was a judgment call with the front tire changer. Okay. The tire got outside of arm length from the car. I mean, from him as he pulled the tire.
So do they consider that a loose tire?
They uncontrolled tire.
Okay.
And we were running 5th at the time we came in, so that backed him up. He had to go to the rear of the field and just did an awesome job of coming back and,
finishing 5th.
Finishing 5th. So that was an awesome day, and it's a perfect segue into what I want to talk about today. And Trent, I'm glad you're here with me today because, Coach Horton.
He's sick of me. That's what.
I feel like I'm doing this right here.
Well,
like I shouldn't be doing that.
I say that because Coach Horton and I, we have some heated debates over at ATC, and just the penalties on pit road. It seems like
over
NASCAR.
What do you have heated debates over?
Over the penalties that's being called and philosophies that's going on and different ways of achieving the fastest pit stop.
Do you think it shouldn't have been called?
Well, no. After watching the film, I feel like it is. But it's just very nitpicky, and it's one of those things where I feel like as a coach, you have to find those situations. And if we could play pit stop 1, I just want to give an example. I mean, video 1.
Video 1.
Video 1. I want to give an example of how touchy these penalties are. And as you can see, the 98 truck.
Gassman can only feel the truck.
He can only feel the truck. And as you see here, that's not the case because he touched the rear tire, the left rear tire. If you look at him, he just touched the tire. And watch what he does after he touched it. All he did was put it over the wall. So he was just trying to help out, but within the rules, you cannot do that.
That's a hard habit to break. All the gasmen we've had for years, they've always been able to do anything: touch a tire, kick a tire, help control a tire. So that happened earlier in the year on the Cup side as well, and it's just I don't think he probably thought anything of it. He's just going to clear the tire.
Something he was used to doing,
Yeah, I mean it is a rule. It is a penalty.
Is that new this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes along with the rule that the gas man can only gas the car. And
so you can't touch anything.
You literally can do nothing as a gas man out except fuel the car. The only thing they allow you is while you're plugged in the left rear tire, when they pull it off, you're allowed to redirect it with your foot.
Yep.
But if it hits the wall and it's coming back, you're not. It's pretty cut and dry. You cannot do anything.
Now, how does that change your coaching?
Oh, we used our gas men last year for everything. We used them to pull tires. We used them obviously to fuel the car. We used them for repair on the car. I mean, they were an extra guy that brought a ton of value. And that was one of the changes. The guns were one thing, the 5-person pit crew was another. But when you took that ability of the gas man to help, it hurt what we did. And from pitting, like that was kind of your extra guy that whenever you had something, they could do it. And we were proud of the gas guys we have and proud of the work they put in. And now they've kind of backed that up to where they just want them fueling. So. it's different.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Trent. There is a way, if you had played video number 2, there is a way to help prevent this. And basically, Jesse Little was running extremely well at the time. And he pitted outside of his box, and he's not extremely...
Just barely.
Just barely. The right front is touching the line. You can have the rear tires outside of the box, but the front has to be in. Now, who makes the call on that? From my experience, I believe it's the jackman. The tire changers, they're just focused on hitting the nuts, so they can't really see all the time. But how do you troubleshoot this? How do you prevent this from happening as a team?
And I'm going to be honest, I think in my 20 years that I've been doing this stuff, I don't know if I've seen that on one of our cars. Never know when it's gonna happen.
That's not wood.
No, we're going to Kansas.
I'm going to have to find it. But here's the deal with that thing. All our guys argue, and you know this is the big argument is, well, does it really hurt or does it help you? Why is it a penalty? It just like you said, it's inches away from one way or the other. It's cut and dry. Specific. It's black and white. It's on the line. It is what it is. I think in that situation that you just showed, it looked like the truck was getting angled out. A car might have been in front of him in the pit stall. The young driver, the right rear was inside. Most of the trouble we have is if you're nosed in, just making sure that the back end's not too far out. But obviously, you asked who called it. We let our changers a lot of that, because if you're sitting down hitting nuts and that white line, is you can't see it, you're obviously outside of it. It's hard for a jackman trying to set the right side peg as quick as he does to be able to look to the right and see that or not. That was just an unfortunate situation. That's probably more driver than anything, and pit crews are asked to go fast. So when you're talking 2 or 3 inches, if you hold up and it's not a penalty and then you get back on it, you've lost time. But if you get digging on it and you touch the car, then it's automatic penalty. So.
And mind you, he made a very impressive recovery as well. I had to go to the tail end and actually finish 9th. Started 5th, finished 9th. One of those truck drivers that I really didn't know too much about, but was very impressed with his performance at Dover. And now I want to talk about the uncontrolled tire. Now,
I told you guys he had videos today. Okay?
I had videos.
He came packing.
Oh, I didn't go to sleep last night. I was straight up editing.
I got a text at 11:30.
Yeah, I texting.
He was up working.
I was working.
I thought you were going to say this morning. I was like, right before our show.
I texted you this morning, too.
That's right.
But uncontrolled tires, did you receive any literature, any type of phone call from NASCAR giving you a heads up that they were going to be policing these uncontrolled tires more? And if you could play videos 4 and 9, if you don't mind, but this has been a very meticulous rule here.
Did you get any notices?
Yeah. NASCAR has been very good about telling us what they're going to call. Doesn't mean everybody's happy with it, but there was I think it was Richmond that they made it very clear that tires that were out of arm's length and unattended to would be penalties. This is
which one was uncontrolled?
So the right front. The front changer pulls it off as he gets up. He pushes it back so the carrier can get it, and it basically helps clear the lane for him.
Yep.
And it just was unattended.
Too far.
Right, and it's tough, man. That's a good pit crew, that 42. They're well coached. And it's just one of them deals where Steve Price, front changer, pulls it off. He goes back on. And really that's tricky because the tire's in decent shape. And then it's one of them calls that when you're a pit crew guy, you hate to see it because you're like, man, we didn't, it's not hurting anything, didn't give us an advantage. But, the rule's the rule, and that's what we all have to face. And
here's another one you'll see with the 24, same penalty called, and this one is looks a little bit different.
That one looks like it's further away, though. That one looks like it's rolling.
Yeah, and that's the same penalty that we got called on the 51 truck that we were hit with. But that is one where the slope of the pit road could have played a part in that, as well as just as a tire changer, you have to stop that momentum when you pull that tire. You have to make sure it's stagnant.
Isn't that the whole point of it, though?
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you are on the track. The whole point is that you can reach out at any point and grab that tire.
Yeah.
For safety purposes.
And also back in the day, when I was pitting just starting out, we had changers pull a tire and they'd roll it across the whole car.
Yes.
Well, the problem with some of that was some of those tires would turn off and they ended up everywhere. So, I think NASCAR's point in doing this to keep the safety, keep the tires.
Absolutely.
It's hard with 5 people. You look at the logistics of the pit stop. At some point, there's going to be a tire that is unattended to for a amount of time. I think what NASCAR is trying to do is just make sure that amount of time is as close as it can be and that you can be within arm's length. Obviously, that one on the 42, if that carrier is closer to maybe to the front guy, that time gets closed in. But because of the way that the stop turned out, it just looked like it was
small window.
Just looked like it was sitting there and being unattended.
Do you think that they'll review this year and kind of the changes? Do you think that they'll go back at all? Do you think that they'll add some more privileges for the gas man
I
or
think
anything like that?
NASCAR will try to make it as easy and safe as they can for the guys.
Sure.
I mean, obviously safety is a big part of it, but and that's why the rules are there. But this is something new. We're only 11 races into this new 5-man stop, and I think NASCAR is learning, and they're very open to hearing what the coaches have to say and making rules. But at the same time, they got to make them, and whatever they make, they try to stick to. So if that's what they send out, then that's what they're going to call.
There you go. You heard it here first. All right, I'm learning so much, and we've got Trent staying with us the rest of the show. I'm sure Rocko has more videos because,
Oh, yes, I do.
his phone memory's probably full. We'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
MRN original programs stream on MRN.com. Check out NASCAR drivers on Motorsports Monday with Woody Kane and Joey Meyer. Sprint car racing on Wing Nation with Steve Post and Aaron Everett. Meet NASCAR team crews on Crew Call with Sammi, Joe, and Rocko. NASCAR local and regional racing on NASCAR Coast to Coast with Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse. NHRA Talk on The Straight Line with Marty Huff and Doug Herbert. Your home for original motorsports talk. MRN.com. MRN's Throwback Thursday, the greatest races in NASCAR history.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding. Pearson is still running. As they come to the stripe, the winner is car number 21.
They spin. They go into the outside wall. Earnhardt hits the wall. Grunt hits the wall. And scooting through is Jeff Bodine, and he is going to win the Holly Farms 400 here this afternoon.
Thursdays at 1 on MRN.com, on demand on iTunes and Google Play. Throwback Thursday on MRN.com. In order to maximize a vehicle's performance and efficiency, the proper adjustments need to be made based on the road ahead. That's true for both race car drivers on the track and for truck drivers hauling freight on the highway. But if your truck's equipped with a Detroit DT12 automated manual transmission with intelligent powertrain management, adjustments are made automatically based on GPS terrain mapping, maximizing performance and efficiency. Don't just want better business solutions, demand them. Learn more at demanddetroit.com.
Hello, MRN Crew Call.
This is Kyle Larson. I'm calling to speak with...
Hold, please.
No, wait. Don't put me on hold.
Ha! We don't do drivers here. This is MRN Crew Call. Here's Sammi, Joe, and Rocko.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. We've got Trent Cherry in the building. We've got people stopping by at the door to say hey to you.
I feel like I'm back at pit practice. I got guys looking in here making faces at me, trying to distract. I'm focused.
And then you've got Rocko making faces at you.
Well, you better get focused because I'm going to expose you. I want to talk about these
It is not that type
secrets.
of show, Rocko.
Hey, it can be. But
not with this guy.
It's on the web, so.
I got Trent here.
Yes.
We're going to use them up today.
And first off, do you have any blackmail on Rocko that we could
No,
have?
we're not going there.
Listen, let me tell you something. All of pit road was changed years ago.
Right.
When Rocko showed up. There was a guy, and we didn't know first time by, he had headband, matching the shoes, matching the belt.
We're slawed out, baby.
Whatever this slawness is that my man's got, it was full slaw. It was headband, and I started thinking, man, this guy, he's looking all right. And then all of a sudden, we got guys coming with shoes, matching watches, matching glass frames. I mean, when he comes to race,
pitting.
he comes. Yeah, you're not gonna get a half effort from Slaw over here. You're gonna get the full thing.
Well, I had to give it a full two pumps on this pit stop right here, as you see on this left side, as I'm coming around. One,
you're
two,
still
boom.
a carrier making the transition.
So, but you didn't get to slaw it out this weekend with your fashion, did you?
Oh, yeah, I did. Just wait for it.
There's a watch somewhere
Wait
that's
for
matching
it.
that
Wait
helmet.
for it.
Wait for it.
Boom. Wait. Show the Tom Fords. Boom.
Did you just drop it
there
like
it
it's
is.
hot?
Boom.
Oh, my God.
I mean, listen.
Now, he's looking good right there now, but
Listen, this is the one guy that I've never seen a man in my life match a belt to his shoestrings like this guy can do. And I appreciate it. I'm kind of a sloppy dresser. So
let's
when
stop.
I got
Let's
there,
change the
Did he
subject.
make you step your game up?
Sammi, we're getting carried away. I have him on here because I want to talk choreography. I want to talk dancing. Okay?
All right, let's do it.
I want to talk about dancing around the cars.
This is something I'm interested in, so please,
Well,
dancing.
Trent, as you know, when the first few races started out and we had the 5-man philosophy, guys were trying to figure it out and figure out what they wanted to do. And after the 5 races, I don't know if it was 3 races or 4 races, I started seeing a change in the way the Jackman runs around the car. And this weekend, I will say, the 2-car, the Penske car, driven by Brad Keselowski, spotter Joey Meyer, shout out, Motorsports Mondays.
That's
Anyways, I want to talk about that team. The Jackman goes around the tire changer. Looks the same. And it has some of the fastest stops all day, but I'm seeing an influx of, if you could show the number 11, video number 11, I'm seeing these tire changers.
How is that different from other teams?
You'll see, I'm seeing the tire changers stepping out the way and allowing the Jackman to run in front of the tire changer, peg the car, and then the tire changer goes down and hits his lug nuts. And it seems so weird to me. It just seems like, as you can see, watch the front tire changer.
Okay.
He's going around. Normally he would go straight to the left front tire, but no. He pauses. He allows the Jackman to go in.
He does a two-step to the side.
Yes, and then he follows him in. And then now, if you can see the 22 car and the 2 cars they're pitting right now,
right?
You know, they don't do that. They don't do that. They
do
keep it traditional.
What you're used to seeing.
Yes.
Okay.
So talk to me about that, Trent.
Yeah, I mean, you can see up on the top right-hand corner right there that our team. I think this stop can go either way. I've been asked by everybody from family members to fans to management to our own pit crew guys, and it's up to me and our staff to come up with the best way we think to pit the race car. And to be honest, I think it depends on where your strengths are with your pit crew. And I'll be honest, I think we have some of the best jackmen in racing. From top to bottom, we have some really good jackmen, and they get around the car extremely well, and they're really quick. And I feel like, you know, if you're gonna do this in theory, you're gonna speed your jackman up, but you might slow your front guy down. You know, in theory, the way you look at it, however you want to play it, it depends on what you're trying to do and where your strengths are. Our strengths, among other things, we have great pit crew guys on all our cars, but our jackmen are really good, and then they're long-legged and they're really good at getting around the car. And
so you don't need to get them. You don't need to speed them up to the left.
I don't feel like we need to slow down the front to speed them up. I feel like they're getting to the car on time, and we've looked at times. We've looked at tape.
Have you played with that idea?
We've looked at it a smidget. I've probably spent more time looking at that one than we have at practice, because I'm a big believer in do what we do and do it right and do it well. And I feel like we're holding our own very well on pit road. You know, you look at some of the times, and from this past weekend, we were really good.
Y'all were right up there. You had 13.8s, 13.9s. I want to quell this dispute I'm having with Coach Horton right now, that it's about the jackman getting to the left rear. It's not about speeding up the tire changers or anything like that. The whole purpose of that.
What's your take on it? You think
my take on it is to allow the jackman more time to analyze and facilitate that left rear exchange.
So don't put him in front. Go with traditional?
No, he's saying probably do it.
I'm saying do it if you have a weak, not a weaker jackman, but if you need to speed your jack, if that exchange time on the left rear is not where it needs to be in the 2.9 or less range, then you have to do that. But what I believe Trent is saying is that he got beast mode jackman. You know, he had beast mode jackman.
He had to say it, not me.
He's got beast mode jackman where they don't need that.
I think it also depends. So Rocco's right. You want to speed up your left rear, right? That's what everybody's looking at. But also you want to finish the same time, right? So let's say if you were to play back some of these footages, you might see some of the teams that are doing that. They're now sped up the left rear and they're waiting on the left front. So what have you gained? Right? It's you move your time to one side of the car. Now, in a perfect world, you speed up the left rear, you don't lose any time on the left front. But you're asking a changer to wait, jackman cross, dive in there. Now, if he misses a nut, he's behind the rear guy.
Exactly.
Now, in a perfect world, I'll put our stop up against anybody's. I'm sure the other guys that are doing that will put their
And elaborate on what you're saying. If you're trying to go fast, you don't slow them up. You don't stop a changer.
Well, wouldn't it make you, if I'm used to doing something for years a certain way, I think it would make me that much slower to then have to kind of cognitively think in that speed situation, now I have to go this way.
Well, and here's the other thing. You got a lot of teams are turning carriers into jackmen, right? So to those guys, it might help. We did not, we kept our jackmen, as jackmen and told them to hang tires. We have one guy we did convert, but I think that might have a lot to do with some of the teams that are trying to help their jackmen get over there. It's not a bad way. I think it's personnel. I think it's who you've got.
And I'm glad you said that, because we're not done. Play videos 3 and 10, because we're talking about bringing these 2 tires out to the front, which I see all the teams doing now. And I believe Penske and you guys, you initiated this whole. Your boy Rocko's right here. That's hot. So, that's not it.
We just wanted more audio from Rocko.
Basically, with the videos on video 3 and 10, as you'll see, that is a broken drive shaft. That's what caused the caution. But anyways, you'll see that what you have here is Penske came up with this idea, I believe, that you'll see that on the 4 car, the front tire changer brings his tire out, the rear tire carrier brings his tire out. But in Penske, what they're doing, as you'll see on Ryan Blaney's team, Flores, the front tire changer, he doesn't bring any tires out. He goes straight to the car, and you have a changer running around, dropping the tire off to the right front with another tire in his hand, and then going to the left rear. And this was something I saw only Penske doing at first, as you see. See, he dropped that off, then he goes to the left rear. Now I see a plethora of teams doing it. I see Roush doing it. I see
why is
so here's what we thought. You know, when we came up with this, there's that old quote that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And we figured if people copy us, we're doing something right. If nobody cares what we're doing something wrong. We've seen 10 or 12 teams go to this stop, and I'll give our staff and our other coach, Brian Holland, and Ray Gallahan and some other guys a lot of credit. We went to work in the offseason and figured out how do we make the best stop. And just like our Jackmen, we have got some absolute studs as carriers, and not every team can do this. This is a ton of work on your carrier.
Beast mode carrier.
It's a huge part of being able to do this. Not every team's probably tried it and looked at it and said this isn't for us, which is fine.
Is there more of a risk for an uncontrolled tire in this scenario, though?
No, the only risk is when a car's coming around you. You know, there's a lot of
Bristol.
You got a guy.
Spots.
Yeah, you got a guy with 2 tires, kind of being exposed.
We've seen plenty of that.
Yep, but it's also one of those deals that if people didn't think it was working, they wouldn't be copying it. So, you know, we've got some really good carriers, and we wanted to attack the right front and get the pit stop started, so we came up with a way that could do that.
We're going to continue attacking this topic right after this break. We'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
The Country 500 Music Festival is back at Daytona International Speedway with Toby Keith, Chris Stapleton, Dirks Bentley, Sugarland, Billy Currington, and so much more. Country 500 Memorial Day weekend, May 25th, 26th, and 27th. For tickets and information, visit country500.com. Sponsored in part by Budweiser.
Race fans, you may not wear a fire suit when you get behind the wheel of your car, but getting back on the road fast is still important. That's why there's AAA, the nation's leading roadside assistance provider. With more than 50,000 service vehicles nationwide, it's no wonder they get to you 15 minutes faster than other roadside service providers. Think of them as the pit crew that goes everywhere with you, 24/7, 365. Keep you and your car on track with AAA. Visit AAA.com/racefan.
15-minute faster arrival time is an average based on 2013 to 2016 AAA U.S. market track national surveys.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-242-1706, 800-242-1706.
You've reached MRN Crew Call. Please deposit 25 cents to be upgraded to more quality programming. Otherwise, hold for Sammi, Joe, and Rocko.
Not as good as you used to be.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. I've got a bunch of giggling boys in the studio. Just goes too far back. So we've spoke a lot about Dover.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the upcoming race.
Night
We've got
racing.
Kansas, the KC Masterpiece 400.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of night races?
I love them. You know, being an athlete and pitting in them and coaching in them, and I think all our guys get up for them. It gives you that Friday night, Saturday night, you know, football feel of hey, it's prime time. You know, I'm a big fan of it. I've always liked night races. You know, you get home a little later, you get to leave a little later in the morning. It's all good, but I'm a fan. I think they're awesome.
How is Pit Road?
Honestly, man, these guys got enough lights to they got more lights than the headlights.
The lights have come a long way.
We used to duct tape a flashlight and click it on so you could see at night races, and now they, you know,
LEDs.
It's not really a problem.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, they can see, and I think the guys, if you were to probably do a poll, they'd probably like night races better. I think the fans probably like it. It just gives you a bigger sports atmosphere than a day race. But
I could see that. Absolutely. How long have you been in this?
This is my 20th year at Penske. Yeah, wow. Counting summers, working up and back and forth. It's been awesome. You know, so this is the 20. They keep a board in Penske, you know, 10 and 20 years, and it was a big deal for me to see the name get switched over. So
that's
it's
awesome.
pretty cool.
You get a Rolex?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I got a couple more gray hairs.
Silver Fox. Okay, so this weekend, of course, we have Kansas Speedway. Friday, we've got pole qualifying coverage at 6:30, followed by the Truck Series Camping World 250 at 8 p.m. And then Saturday night, the action happens in the KC Masterpiece 400. That starts at 7 p.m. Anything we should be looking for on pit road?
Well, we should be looking for this book because I love it.
I don't think it'll be on pit road. There's going to be a lot of action on pit road after the race.
Not only that, you have a charity golf event coming up.
We do.
With all the pit crew guys look forward to every year.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We got Ray Wright over at RCR, done a ton of good work. He started the organization Pit Stops for Pride, turned into Pit Stops for Hope. We do a charity golf tournament at the Warrior Golf Club the 25th of May. It's at the end of this month.
So Memorial Day weekend?
Yep. We usually get about 100 to 125 people to play in it. It's a really good event.
I'm playing this year.
So you can come out?
I'm playing this year.
You can come out and watch it.
Oh, yeah. We've had fans come out, and the guys are laid back, and it's more
What course is it at?
It's at the Warrior in China Grove.
Crew Call is coming out there.
You need to make an appearance.
Crew Call is coming out
there. You need to get a
I've
team
just
and
been
support this thing. So it's really good calls, but guys have a blast, and it's predominantly dominated by pit crew guys. So it's and pit people and racing people. So great tournament, great cause to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Trent Cherry with Penske Racing.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rocko, for coming in and bringing all the media. And we will see you next week with lots of Kansas Speedway action from the night race. We'll see you next week on MRN Crew Call.